Well, you guys asked for it. I will be showing you how to build this Queen Anne style Victorian house, so buckle up. There's a lot to get through. I originally made this house in creative, so I didn't really pay attention to what blocks I used. But don't worry, survival players. By using the Lightmatica mod, I was able to generate this list of materials you would need to make this house. If you haven't already, pause the video whenever you need to write down these materials. Alright, got all your materials? Alright, great, let's continue moving on with the video. I will be making a frame of the build out of colored wool, however you can use other blocks other than wool. The yellow wool areas can be replaced with smooth sandstone, and the red wool areas with bricks. Along the base of each color, I use deep slate tiles. The patio floor is made of mixed deep slate blocks so you can fill in the floor. The base dimensions are shown here. You can pause this video to make a note of the numbers on the screen. If you finish the outline, we can get started on getting the height of the mansion. Starting with the porch section, each pillar should be 7 blocks apart and 10 blocks tall. I then connected all of them on the 10th block. Now we need to create an entry point to the porch. After the 3rd pillar from the left, we will extend this little area by 3 blocks and place pillars at the corners. For planning, I connected the entrance pillars at the 9th block, but that will be replaced by an arch later. Over at the circle, I placed pillars in this configuration where 2 pillars are added next to each other, where the 5 block sides meets the 2 block sides. I then connected the pillars by following the circle that was placed down. We will move to the left side porch, however do not connect these 2 pillars yet. I'll show you why later. The left side pillars will only be 9 blocks tall, so be careful with that. The pattern that was established in the front will be repeated into the back, 7 blocks wide, 10 blocks tall. And if you follow correctly so far, this is how the porch pillars should look like so far. Now to make the frame of the main house. We will start out at 12 blocks high for the first floor. However, the left side will have this shape. It will go up to 10 blocks, move in by 3 blocks, and back up 2 blocks. Though the rest of the first floor will just go up by 12 blocks. After you've framed up the corners, it should look something like this. Now we are going to move on to the 2nd floor. This is where things get a little complicated. We will start from the left side. From this point, you will increase the height by 9 blocks, and then connect it like so. Then for this tower, you will increase the height by 20 blocks, and create these pillars. Connect these pillars with the 3 block circle with 1 block corners. Then from the entrance area, place 2 blocks going back, and go up 11 blocks like this. Go 12 blocks to the left from that point, and build down to the entrance. Or up, whatever you feel like. Move into the right, this section will go up by 13 blocks. Create the pillar frame to the right and connect it. After that, go back by 30 blocks and create an identical frame to the one you just did at the front, like so. Moving further right, we will increase the height by 9 blocks. Do that for all the corners on this side and it should look something like this. Moving towards the back, we will increase this tower here by 28 blocks. Create pillars like these and connect the top. Beside the tower, increase this little section by 9 blocks. Connect it to the tower, but not to the other frame yet. Now moving to the right of this already existing frame, we will create a frame that is 11 blocks tall. And last but not least, we will increase the height of this corner by 9 blocks and connect it to everything. After all that framing, this is what the house should somewhat look like. With the frame complete, we can fill in the frame. This house has a gradient of terracotta, granite, bricks, and acacia planks, where each layer roughly begins and ends is shown on screen. But you would like to mix the layers together so it looks something more like this. Once you have the gradient somewhat similar to this, we can move on to creating the roof. The first thing we can do is connect the porch pillars to the main house like shown. Instead of the red wool I used here, you can use oak planks if you are in survival. The next step would be to add a trim to the roof. We will outline the top of the porch pillars with smooth quartz slabs. However, at the entrance, we will add a triangle shaped like this. From the trim, build up the slope by a slab for 1 block. Then for the next 3 blocks, the slope will go up by a full block while being connected to the previous block with a slab underneath the block. The next peak should go up by a block and a slab. It should look like this when you are done. Make this exact frame to the other entrance on the back. If you haven't already, finish the trim around the porch. The next step is to start making the roof. The first roof we will work on is the dome. For the dome, I ended up using purple wool wool to plan it out. However, it'll be turned into nether bricks later on. So survival players, you can just go ahead and use nether bricks while following along. The dome circle is a 5-2-1 circle where there's a 5-block face, then a 2-block face, then a 1-block corner. You should raise that circle by 1 block from above the porch frame. Then the next layer should go in by 1 block like this. The third layer should be the same as the first layer. On top of the third layer, we will add these small triangles to the tops of the 5-block faces. Connect the triangles together, but leave these 5 blocks without a block on top of them. Connect the tops of the triangles to the center with a line like this. It should go in by 2 blocks, then 3 blocks, then 1 block. The 5th layer should go 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. The 6th layer should go 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1. The 7th, 1, 2, 2, 1. And the top should look like this. Do this to the other corners of the dome. When you are finished, it should look something like this. After planning the dome out, we will move on to the porch roof. From this corner, create a diagonal of smooth quartz slabs that goes up by a slab. Then fill in the roof with black stone bricks by following the frames that we built. However, the top of the entrance frame will have a smooth quartz slab trim. We will add a balcony just on the top of the roof like this. It should come out by 4 blocks and touch the edge of the tower like this. The right side of the entrance roof should just follow the left side. Connect the other corner like this as well. Moving to the back, we will do the same things to the corners that we did to the front. The same thing we did to the front entrance will also be done to the back entrance. And when the roof is all connected, add a smooth quartz slab trim near the main building. The last roof we will do is this porch roof. Set a trim on the side facing to the left. On the sides, we will have this slope go up a slab. Then for the next 8 blocks, it will go up a slab for every second block. Then have the slabs go 3 blocks, back to 2, then 1 block twice, which should connect to this corner. Once you have the slope looking like this, do the same slope to the other side, which should end at the 3 block part. Then you can just fill it in with black stone brick slabs. We will now move on to the top roof, and this will get very complicated, so get ready to go crazy. We will start off with a simple trim above the balcony. Moving to the big area, the sides will also have a basic trim, but the face will have a peaking roof. The slope will be made with all slabs like the entrance roof below. From the trim, we will go up by a slab. The next 2 blocks will go up by a full block. The next block will go up by a block and a half. Then the final 3 blocks will go up by 2 blocks. Mirror this to the other side. Moving to the right, we'll add a trim to this side. Then make a roof face. This frame will initially go up by a slab on the trim, then move up by a slab. The next 2 blocks will go up by a full block. The following 2 blocks will go up by a block and a half. And the final block will be 2 blocks tall. Moving to the back, we'll have this small section of the roof go up by a bit. Raise the trim by a slab, and the next 2 blocks will go up by a slab. Then the final 2 blocks will go up by a full block. Moving to the right, add a slab on top of the trim, and the next block will move up by a slab. The next 2 will go up by a full block, and the 2 after that will go up by 1.5 blocks. The final block will be 2 blocks tall. We will then trim this corner like so and move over to this face. Add a slab on top of the trim again, and the following block will move up by a slab. The next 2 by a block, then 1.5 blocks. Then the top will be 2 blocks. Finish the rest of the trim to the tower. Start connecting the tops of the roofs with smooth quartz slabs with the slab down from the top. Start filling in the roof by following the trim of this backside roof with black stone bricks like the porch roof. Then follow the trim of the big roof at the top here. Then we will address this corner spot to properly connect everything. From this corner, we will move at a diagonal, increasing the height by a slab for 8 blocks. Then for a full block for 1 block, then a block and a half for 2 blocks, then 2 blocks for 1, and back to a block and a half at the top. Once you reach this top point, connect it to the big roof here. Though in the video it shows that the trim connects to the top of the roof, it shouldn't be that way. The height of this roof was changed later, and if you followed my instructions so far, the trim should connect a few blocks lower. Run a diagonal down from that top point to the other direction towards the tower. Then begin filling in the roof based on those trims. Start filling in the right side too if you haven't already. However, to note on this right side, this little roof on the back will need a trim above it so it doesn't look weird. You can do that by increasing the final block's height to 1.5 blocks so a quartz slab can go over the top of it. Once you are done, we will add some windows to the roof. First, we will start with this section of the roof above the balcony. On the 3rd block up, 3 blocks to the left of the big roof, we will add a 3 block wide wall. It should go up by 4 blocks and have a 2 block gap in the middle. Add a trim on the sides of the 4th block. Next to the trim, go up by a block. The final block should go up by 1.5 blocks. Connect the highest slab to the rest of the roof and fill it in with blackstone bricks. Make sure to fill in the sides of the walls too. We will make the same design to the roof above the dome, this time 1 block up and 4 blocks to the left of the trim. With the windows done, we will do a quick ADHD and create a chimney in the back. From this corner, just to the side of the trim, we will add a chimney. It will be a 2x2 chimney that is 15 blocks tall in one half and 12 blocks tall in the other. It will be made out of stone, cobblestone, andesite, and stone bricks. At the top of each layer, place campfires and surround them with spruce trapdoors. It should look like this. Whenever you finish with that chimney, we will detail the trim a bit more. For the portions of the trim that overhang the roof, for every other block, we will add a slab underneath the trim like this. Do this for the porch roof and the top roof. For the portion of the trim that is by the main house, every other block we will add a slab on top of the trim like so. We will add a slightly different trim to the dome. We will continue the pattern from the porch roof. However, the spaces where a slab wasn't added, we will add a slab above to create this type of pattern. One thing to note on this right side, it's pretty bare right now. To fix that, we will add a trim at the level of the porch trim to divide the first floor from the second floor. Make sure to also add the detailing to the trims on the roofs of the windows. Once the trim detailing is done, we will work on the roofs of the towers. We will start off with a smooth quartz slab trim around the top. I will use purple wool to shape the roof, but you can use blackstone bricks since that's what I ended up using. We will start off with a triangle on all the faces, but make sure to add a base of 1 block underneath the triangle. Also add a block in the corners as well. Go up by 2 blocks, then add another triangle above that triangle, but make the peak 2 blocks instead of 1. Do this to all sides. Do the same thing to the next layer, however make the peak 3 blocks instead of 2. Create a peak that is 3 blocks tall. Finally move to the bottom and add a block that goes over the trim like this. Next we will add detailing to the trim. Add a slab below the trim like this, but then add slabs above where there isn't a slab added below the trim. At the peak of each tower, add 2 blackstone brick walls, then 2 dark oak fences, and 2 iron bars. Change each peak block to blackstone brick stairs to smooth out the slope of the roof a bit, and add a blackstone brick slab on top of these corner blocks on the first layer of the tower. Then copy this exact tower roof to the other tower since they are the same shape. If you haven't already, replace the bottom layer of the porch with deep slate tiles. Once you have that dealt with, we will start with some detailing. We will add some birch leaves around the house to simulate bushes. The thing to note here is that the bushes should follow the terrain around the area you are building in. If you notice some copper stairs in the foundation, don't worry about those, they won't be seen. You can just make the foundation all deep slate tiles. We will start detailing the porch. To start, add some railing to the porch with stairs. Use smooth sandstone stairs rather than the quartz stairs shown. Place the stairs upside down. On the left side, have the stairs face left, and on the right side, have the stairs face right. When going around the back, follow the direction established and continue that direction until you get to the back entrance. Then on the other side of the back entrance, have the stairs go in the opposite direction towards the entrance. Moving over to the gazebo area, the railing will be slightly different. The stairs will initially follow the direction established by the porch. However, in the middle of this space, a smooth sandstone block should be added. Then the stairs should go into the opposite direction. This pattern should be done to the rest of the spaces in the gazebo. With the railing done, we will move to the pillars. The base should be 2 smooth sandstone blocks, with the bottom block being surrounded with birch trapdoors. I know in the clip I use carved sandstone, but all the carved sandstone will be changed later, so you guys should get it right the first time. The next 5 blocks should be sandstone walls. The next step will involve using the debug stick. So if you are in survival and don't have access to the debug stick, you can skip to the time on screen. But if you do want to use the debug stick, I will show you how. You should run the command on screen to give yourself a debug stick. Once you have it, left click the lowest sandstone wall to rotate the menu to east. Then right click the wall until you set it to tall. Then rotate the menu by using left click and go to north, south, and west and set them all to tall. Repeat this process to the highest wall and it should look like this. This will be the design of every single pillar on the porch, so either copy paste the first pillar to the rest or manually repeat the process in survival. Whenever you finish pasting or making the pillars, we will add some arches in between the pillars. The first arch we will add is in this small area between the pillars at the entrance. We will place 2 smooth sandstone stairs facing opposite directions to create this small arch. The next arch we will do is the 7-block gap between most of the pillars. You will place 2 smooth sandstone blocks in the corners, then place 1 smooth sandstone slab at the ends of the blocks like this. Then place a smooth sandstone slab underneath the corner blocks like this. And now you have a simple arch. This arch will be used for all 7-block gaps, so you can go ahead and do that to most of the porch. Though it should be noted, the arches on this left section will be positioned a bit differently. Instead of starting a slab up, it will start with a stair rather than a slab. The arch will be the same though. Make sure you also have an arch and trim before you enter the left side porch. We should then move over to the dome. The first arch will be a 2-stair arch. Then when we move to the 3-block gap, it should be a full smooth sandstone block in the corners and a slab in the center. Do this for all 3-block gaps in the dome. The next thing we will work on is this roof face at the entrance. Use smooth sandstone instead of carved sandstone, but we will create a trim of sandstone underneath the quartz trim. Place a block above the trapdoor, place another block to the diagonal, then place a block to the right, then up, and do this until the peak. Follow the same pattern down the other side. Now replace some of those blocks with smooth sandstone slabs instead. It should roughly follow the quartz trim. Then place 3 slabs across the middle like this. Create a brick wall behind the trim, break 4 bricks in a cross shape, and place a brick slab at the bottom and the top. Then place brick walls on the sides. Place some dark oak planks behind that small window and add a few bits of granite on the wall. Add a few birch trapdoors next to the slabs, and it should look something like this. Do this to the back entrance as well. Inside the porch, we will add a spruce trapdoor trim along the edge of the ceiling near the pillars. This will be throughout the porch. Then we will have another ADHD moment and add a smooth sandstone support for this roof. It should be a block height when compared to the quartz slab above it. Then it should be a slab height when the quartz trim is a full block. Then it should alternate a slope up by every 2 blocks. Back to the spruce trim, we will add a dark oak plank trim behind the spruce trapdoors. Moving to the main house, we will open a hole for a door at the entrance here. It will be a 3x4 gap. Place 2 dark oak doors to the sides and fill in the rest of the space with dark oak trapdoors. Then above the door, we will design a pattern. First, add walls in the corners that go all the way up to the trims and add a smooth sandstone block at the top. Add another block beneath the block and put a birch trapdoor on it. Add an upside down smooth sandstone stair facing away from the top block. Connect the 2 pillars with smooth sandstone blocks. Add an arch at the top with 2 smooth sandstone slabs in the corners. Add a trim above the door with smooth sandstone slabs. Where the trim connects to the walls, replace the walls with smooth sandstone blocks. Then add a slab below the trim in the middle. Open a 3x2 hole in between the trim and arch for a window. Below the trim, add 3 brick stairs above the door like this. Add birch fences from the top of the trim to the top of the arch. And to fill in the window, use blue stained glass panes. Once the entrance is done, start a smooth sandstone slab trim to the ceiling. In the middle of these 3-block walls, add a sandstone wall. When the sandstone wall reaches the trim, add a slab underneath the trim to create a block so the wall connects. Next, we will detail these corners. Place a brick stair at the bottom like this, and place an upside down stair above it. Do this for the entire height of the corner. Now the next step will involve using the debug stick again. So if you can't use it, just make sure those stairs face in a consistent direction. They should either face north and south or east and west. If you do have the debug stick, I will show you how it's done. So get your debug stick and left click the stair to rotate the menu to shape. Right click the stair until you reach either outer left or outer right. Whichever one makes the stairs look like this. And do this for all the stairs in the corner. Do this design for every single corner on the house. The next step after those corners is to work on the first floor layer of this tower. Open a 1x5 hole in the middle of the faces and in the corners 2 blocks above the floor. Add a trim of smooth sandstone on the ceiling. However, add smooth sandstone stairs to the corners like this. Also add a slab underneath the trim in the middle of the 3-block face. Though I did get distracted again and changed the foundation of the house to deep slate tiles. Though if you followed my directions earlier, you should already have this. If not, go ahead and fix that mistake. Back to the windows. Place blue stained glass blocks 1 block behind the opening. Do this for all the windows. The corner windows will have the glass set up like this. On the flat face window, place birch trapdoors between the bottom 2 blocks and the top 2 blocks like this. On the corner window, place the trapdoors in the same spot as you did on the previous window. Do the same for the last window. Next, we will move to this wall to the left of the tower. Place a block 1 block before the corner to allow the corner pattern to show. Do the same thing to the other side of the corner. We will add a trim to the foundation of the house. Place smooth sandstone blocks at the base of the walls. This trim will go all around the house, except next to the doors. Also place a block 4 blocks to the right of this wall. And finally add a block to the corner. On top of these blocks, add a wall. In between the 3 pillars, open up 2 2x5 holes in the middle. At the top of both holes, add 2 upside down stairs facing each other. Add blue stained glass behind the holes. Add birch trapdoors to the bottom part of the 4th layer blocks. Then add a birch gate below those trapdoors. Then add some more trapdoors at the bottom part of the window. Next, we will detail around the windows. Add upside down dark oak stairs below the window. Then add another brick wall at the layer of the upper trapdoor. Add a dark oak fence below the wall. Place a dark oak slab above the wall, and in the space between the slabs, add dark oak stairs placed exactly the same as the brick stairs you added to the window. Here's another debug tutorial. In order to separate these 2 walls, rotate the menu with left click and get to a menu that either says low or tall. Once you do, use right click to set them to none. With that done, do the same detailing to the other window. On those dark oak stairs at the bottom, place flower pots on them with whatever flower you like. I used cornflowers. Moving back to the tower, add dark oak trapdoors at the base of the windows, and add a flower pot with a cornflower as well. Above the tower windows, add a pattern of dark oak trapdoors above the windows and hang a lantern in the middle of it. The corner windows should have doubled trapdoors above the window. Moving to the right, we will work on this wall. Do the corner detailing if you haven't already, and add walls around the corners. Place blocks at the bottom and the top of the walls and add a sandstone trim. Go over to the gazebo wall and add a wall in the corner and the edge. Add another wall in the middle of those 2 pillars, which should leave 4 blocks of space in between them. Around the ceiling sandstone trim, continue the spruce trapdoor trim from earlier. Do this around the entire house. Behind that spruce trapdoor trim, add a dark oak plank trim. We will make a pattern on the ceiling of this part of the porch. First, add a line of dark oak planks at the entrance here, making this gap 5 blocks wide. Next, extend this line all the way to the end of the ceiling. Next, create squares on the ceiling that are 3x3, except for this square, which will be 2x3. Continue that pattern for the rest of the roof. Get rid of the spruce trapdoor trim at this wall to allow room for the square. Create a cross pattern like this in the middle of each square. Make sure oak planks are in the corner. Make sure the lamp in the center is lit. Then repeat that cross pattern to every 3x3 square in the ceiling. For this 2x3 rectangle, just add oak stairs connected like this. However, at the entrance, add oak slabs to the sides of the pattern, like so. There should also be 2 lanterns at the entrance. Add redstone lamps in this hallway every 3 blocks. The first lantern you place should align with this pillar that is on the left side of this wall. Add a redstone lamp in front of this trapdoor that's by the front entrance. And add a lantern above the front door like this. We will move back to the gazebo. Create a circle in the roof like this. Hollow out the inside of the circle so the dome can be visible. We will set the inside structure of the dome with lines from the flat faces of the circle. From the circle, go at a diagonal by 1. Then go up 1 block and move in by 2. Then do the same for the next layer. Create this line for each side. Above the dark oak circle, place oak planks. Then place oak slabs inside of the oak planks like so. Place oak planks above those slabs. Now place upside down oak stairs off those oak planks. Make sure to corner the stairs when you reach the corners of the circle. Then place an oak slab in the corner here. Place 2 more slabs to the sides of that corner slab, and in the final block, place another oak slab above that, a slab up from the 2 you just placed. Then smooth out the dark oak supports with dark oak slabs. Then add a trim of dark oak trapdoors around the circle. We will then add a simple chandelier hanging from the dome. Place a cobbled deep slate wall in the center. Add a spruce fence and chain below that. Then place andesite walls in a cross shape. Place iron fences around the corners of the chandelier. Add an iron bar below in the middle. Lastly, add lanterns to the bottoms of each wall. After completing that side quest, let's move back to the gazebo wall. Since the wall has the exact same dimensions as the wall we already completed, we will place the same exact design here. But before we complete this wall, let's complete another side quest. We will add hanging plants in the middle of the arches on the porch. Place 2 chains in the middle of the arch. If you aren't creative, add a barrier block below this block and add a flower pot with a fern on top of it. In survival, you can place a leaf block. Do this for all the arches on the porch. However, the porch on the left side should have 2 hanging plants instead of 1 in the center. Now we will get back to the main quest of doing this wall. First, break 2 2x4 holes 2 blocks above the floor. Do not worry about that random hole above. Next, fill in the blue stained glass 1 block behind that hole. Then add the same window design we did on the other windows on the inside. However, around the windows, we will do something different. First, we will make the windowsill. Place a dark oak slab in the middle of the 2 windows. Place another slab above it. Then place 2 upside down stairs on each side of the slab and connect those stairs with a slab. Place nether brick walls on each side of the windows. Place a dark oak fence underneath each one. Place slabs above the nether brick walls, then add an upside down stair next to each one. Connect it up with slabs and place a slab above the middle section. And finally, you can place flowers on the windowsill if you like. Next, we will add some furniture to the porch. Add a brown carpet in front of the front door. Over on this section of the porch, add smooth quartz benches that are 4 blocks wide and have their sides cornered. Break this side and break the blocks beneath them. Add a black banner in the hole and replace the stairs. Do the same for the middle stairs. Repeat this process on the other bench. Then add a 2x2 smooth stone slab table in the center. Next, move over to the gazebo where we will add another table. Start off with a slab in the center of the gazebo and make it a double slab block. Add iron trapdoors around that block. Then place quartz stairs around the table and add birch signs to the sides of them. Then place a flower pot with a poppy in the center of it. Now we are going to detail the dome. I used copper at first, but that's not the final block. Where copper is will be nether brick, and the weathered copper raw iron. But this step is important. In this indent we made earlier, add some nether brick slabs every other block on top of the bottom layer. Then on the layer above, break a block and add a slab instead wherever a slab was placed on the layer below. It should look like teeth if you did it right. On the bottom layer, add a lantern wherever you can place one. Add a dark oak fence in the middle and place a lantern on top. Next part we detail is the balcony. First, change the floor to various deep slate blocks like the porch floor. Make the base of the railing out of smooth sandstone stairs. Separate the 2 sides with a block in the middle and make either side of that block face towards the block. Then place smooth sandstone slabs above those stairs. Break a 3x3 hole in the middle of the wall by the balcony. Place sandstone blocks on either side of that hole, just below the roof. Add a smooth sandstone trim. Add another block in the corners. Add sandstone walls above those blocks and place a block at the top of the walls. Add an arch in between the pillars by the door with the stair slab and leave the middle empty. Add a sandstone slab in the remaining spaces between the pillars. Then add a birch trapdoor to the face of each sandstone block. Place some sandstone slabs near the base of each pillar. Break a 2x3 hole 1 block above the door hole. Create a small arch above the door with a stair slab and 1 birch trapdoor. Fill in the door the same way we did on the front entrance. Place birch fences in the middle of the window and add dark oak trapdoors around the window. Then place blue stained glass behind the window. The balcony should look like this when you are done. Move over to the left and let's finish up detailing this tower. 1.5 blocks from the roof, break a 1x5 hole. 3 blocks above that hole, break another 1x5 hole. Add a quartz trim to the blocks above the lower window and add a second slab below the trim trim in the middle of each flat face. In the corners of the trim, add a slab that is slightly down from the other slabs. Place blackstone bricks above the trim and blackstone walls above the blocks. In the corners, replace the brick walls with blackstone bricks so the mini roof looks continuous. Then break more 1x5 holes in the middle of each flat face and corner. The top part of the tower should have a lot of windows. Add brick slabs to the bottoms of each window opening. Place blue stained glass a block behind every hole, like this. Select a window and add 2 birch trapdoors between the 4th and 5th blocks. Add only 1 trapdoor to the bottom of the 2nd block. Do this to all the windows. Add a dark oak trapdoor trim above the windows and include a small arch like this above each window on the flat sides. Double the trapdoors above the windows in the corners. Add lanterns above each window that you can. Do this exact process to the layer above and the tower should look like this. Next we will work on this big area. First add a smooth sandstone slab trim that is 1.5 blocks above the peaks of the roof trim. Add slabs below the trim. Place them above the peaks of the trim below. Add sandstone walls below the gaps of the trim. Break open a 3x7 hole in the center of the wall and 1 block above the sandstone trim. Place smooth sandstone blocks around the corners like so. Add another sandstone trim that starts just above the quartz trim of the roof above the balcony. Have it come all the way around the wall. Add your walls above the sandstone blocks you placed and add another sandstone block at the top of the walls. Add smooth sandstone slabs below the trim in the corners like this. At the top of the blocks above the walls, add a slab. Then connect the 2 slabs with birch trap doors. Place another block at the top of the blocks. If you can use a debug stick, follow the following steps. If not, just skip to the time shown. Place walls above the trapdoors. Place more trapdoors above the walls. Debug the sandstone walls so that they don't connect to each other. And now you have a nifty design above the window. If you can't use a debug stick, use this design. Place a smooth sandstone block in the center. Then place upside down stairs facing towards the block. It should look like this. Now to work on the window. Add dark oak trapdoors along the sides of the window. Then place 3 grass blocks or whatever dirt block you have at the base of the window. Surround those blocks with spruce trapdoors. I placed some blue orchids in the flower pot, but you can use whatever plant you like. Fill in the window by placing blue stained glass 1 block behind the hole. Then place birch fences in the middle of the window and add 2 gates 2 blocks down from the top. Next we will work on the roof face. Break the layer that is at the top trapdoor level, then place smooth sandstone slabs at the base. Then make a smooth sandstone trim inside the face. It should follow the quartz trim of the roof above. Break the rest of the bricks in the face. Fill in the space with bricks behind the sandstone trim. Break a 3x3 hole in the center of the face you just filled in. Add brick stairs to the corners. Fill in the space behind it with blue stained glass. Add another sandstone wall on the balcony, just behind the railing. Add another sandstone wall in the corner here, which is on the right side. Add birch trapdoors to the smooth sandstone blocks. When you are finished, it should look something like this. Moving to the right, we will work on this wall above the dome. Make sure on the quartz trim, the peaks match on both the top and the bottom. Once they do, add sandstone walls to the end peaks. Add another sandstone wall in the middle of those two. In between the pillars, break a 1x3 hole. Place dark oak trapdoors along the sides of the openings. Add a dark oak slab to the top of the window and place dark oak trapdoors to the sides of the slabs. Fill in behind those holes with blue stained glass. Add birch trapdoors to the top of the first layer and the bottom of the third layer. The wall should look something like this when you are done. Going to the far left wall, adjust the quartz trim where one of those peaks start at the far left end. Add a sandstone wall 1 block away from the corner and in the right corner. Break open a 3x5 gap in between them that is 1.5 blocks down from the quartz trim. Place blue stained glass behind the hole and place dark oak trapdoors along the sides of it. Place birch fences in the middle of the window and gates directly in the center. Simplest wall we've done so far. Now to the roof windows. Break any roof that may be behind the window. Fill in behind the hole with blue stained glass and place a birch trapdoor at the bottom of the second layer. Let's work on the last tower. Starting from 1 block above the bush, break a 1x5 hole. Continue opening up windows all the way with a 3 block gap in between each one. On the layer of the 5th window, open up the corners and the other flat faces. Above the 4th window up, add the mini roof design we did on the other tower. Add the dark oak trapdoor trim we did on the other tower as well. Make sure to include the lanterns too. Fill in the windows on the 5th layer with blue stained glass and add the birch trapdoors to the windows as well. But this time, double the bottom trapdoor. Add a quartz trim in between each window layer. Add peaks to the top and bottom of the trims. Make sure the slabs you add are on alternating blocks. Also to note that the peak above the window should be a slab below where the window starts. On the 4th layer, open up some windows in the corners and flat faces where the roof doesn't cover, and add brick slabs to the bottoms of all the openings. Then fill in the windows on the tower with blue stained glass and apply the window design of the 5th layer to the rest of the windows. The tower should look something like this. And with that tower done, the entire front is finished. Pat yourself on the back if you made it this far. If this tutorial has been helpful for you so far, please leave a like on the video and drop a sub for more tutorials in the future. Now we have a lot to do, like all the other sides. So let's get to it. Let's go back to the first floor and add lanterns on each side of each pillar on the porch to light it up to prevent mobs from spawning on the porch. And following this line of thinking, add a black carpet to every spawnable block on the roof and a white carpet on any spawnable block on the quartz trim. Once you're done with that, move over to this wall on the far left. Place a smooth sandstone block a block away from the corner. At the top, place some sandstone slabs to create a trim. Add another pillar on the other side of the corner and add another in this corner. Let's go ahead and add pillars around every single corner like this along the first floor. And in between every pillar, add a sandstone trim at the base and the top. Along this wall in the back, add a double pillar. If you can, debug the walls so they don't connect. If you can't, should be fine. At the back entrance, place 4 pillars like this, leaving 3 blocks in between the middle 2 pillars. Along this back wall, place a pillar in the corner on the right and 1 block away from the corner on the left. In the middle, add a double pillar which should leave 5 blocks of space on either side. Debug the middle pillar if you can. Let's continue moving left off the porch. Add a sandstone trim below the existing quartz one. Add these 2 pillars on the first floor with 3 blocks of space in between them. Move to the left some more and continue the sandstone trim. Add the pillars around the corners. This pillar on the right should be 1 block away from the actual corner like this. And that should be all the pillars on the first floor. We will go ahead and finish the porch ceiling on the back. We will be using the same idea we did on the front side. Finish the spruce trapdoor trim along the main house. We won't add a dark oak plank trim this time, so we will just move on to making the ceiling pattern. Starting off on the right side, 3 blocks away from the edge, add dark oak planks. Add more dark oak planks 3 blocks away from the previous trim. Add redstone lamps in the centers of each square. Add oak stairs around each redstone lamp like this. Then add oak planks along the corners if your ceiling wasn't already oak planks. Do this for the other 2 squares. Moving over to the back entrance, add dark oak planks to the sides like this. Then apply the lantern pattern we did for the other squares. Moving further to the left, add a dark oak plank trim on the side closer to the porch pillars. Create 2 dark oak lines to separate the space into 3 squares. Break the spruce trapdoors near the house and replace it with dark oak planks. Then apply the lantern pattern we did to the other squares. Now move to the back wall on the far left side of the porch. Break open a 3x6 hole in the wall and create a design above the window with a dark oak planks block on the 6th layer. Then add a dark oak slab with another slab on top and a middle slab connecting the 2 sides. Add nether brick walls below the dark oak block and a dark oak fence below that. Disconnect the walls with a debug stick if you can. Below the window, add an upside down dark oak stair in the middle and other upside down stairs facing away from it on either side of it. Fill in the window with blue stained glass and add birch fences in the middle and gates 2 blocks down from the top. Add a lantern above the window and flower pots with cornflowers on the windowsill. As a final touch, add 2 granite stairs at the top of the window. Moving to the left, add a double pillar on this wall near where we made that window. There should be a 2 block gap between the pillars. Going to the wall next to it, open up a 2x5 window in the middle of the wall. Add 2 granite stairs at the top of the window. Fill in the window with blue stained glass. Add birch trapdoors at the bottoms of the 4th and 2nd layer. Add birch gates below the trapdoors. Place 2 dark oak stairs at the base of the window with flower pots with cornflowers in them. Above the window, place dark oak slabs to the sides and dark oak stairs in the middle. Add nether brick walls and dark oak fences beneath the slab. Disconnect the walls if you can. Move over to this wall. Break a 1x5 window in between the pillars. Place a granite slab at the top of the windows. Make Make a small arch with dark oak slabs at the tops of each window. The peak of the arch should be where you place the granite slab. Then add nether brick walls and dark oak fences beneath the side slabs. Disconnect the walls if possible. Place a dark oak stair at the base of the windows. Fill in the windows with blue stained glass and add doubled birch trapdoors between the third and fourth layers and a single trapdoor at the bottom of the second layer. Then add some flower pots with cornflowers. Let's move over to the back entrance. In the middle of the two middle pillars, open up a 3x4 hole for the door. Place 2 dark oak doors on the sides and fill in the rest of the space with dark oak trapdoors. Break a 2x3 hole 2 blocks above the door for a window. Add 2 granite slabs to the top of the window and fill it in with, you guessed it, blue stained glass. Place birch fences in the middle of the window. Add a trim with smooth sandstone slabs and replace the walls the trim connects to with smooth sandstone blocks. Add another block in the middle. Replace the blocks above the door with granite stairs. Place birch trapdoors on the faces of the blocks of the pillars. And finally, place a lantern above the door and a brown carpet in front of it. Make sure to add birch trapdoors to all the faces of the blocks of the pillars. Move into the last wall on the porch. Break open 3x5 holes in between the pillars and place granite slabs at the top of them. Fill them in with blue stained glass. Add dark oak stairs to the bases of the windows, but make sure the stairs on the edges are facing outwards. Place birch fences in the middle of the window and add gates in the middle, or 1 block below where the stairs are. On the 5th layer, add a dark oak block on either side of the window, go a slab up, and connect those blocks with a slab. Place nether brick walls and dark oak fences below the dark oak plank blocks, and add a lantern above the window. Add some flower pots with cornflowers in them and copy this design to the other window. Let's continue moving left and move off the porch. On the wall by the tower, break a 1x5 hole and place a granite slab at the top. Fill it in with blue stained glass. Place birch trapdoors between the 4th and 3rd layer and 1 at the bottom of the 2nd layer. Create a small arch of dark oak planks, and where the peak is where you place the granite slab. Lastly, add nether brick walls and dark oak fences to the sides. Disconnect the walls if possible. Add a dark oak stair at the base of the window with a cornflower in a flower pot, and that window is done. Continuing left to this wall, break a 2x5 hole and add granite stairs at the top of it. Fill it in with blue stained glass. Place 2 dark oak stairs at the base with cornflowers on top. Place birch trapdoors at the bottom of the 4th layer and the top of the 1st layer. Add dark oak stairs next to where you place the granite stairs and place slabs next to each of those stairs. Then add nether brick walls and dark oak fences below the slabs. Of course, disconnect the walls if possible. Moving to the last wall on the 1st floor, break open a 3x5 hole with granite stairs at the top. Place a dark oak slab on each side of the window, then a block, then a slab with a slab on top. Add stairs to the base of the window with the edge stairs facing outwards. Add your flower pots with cornflowers. This time we will place dark oak trapdoors along the sides of the window. Place birch fences in the middle with gates also in the middle, but this time with birch trapdoors on top of the gates. And also fill in the window. And that is the 1st floor of this house finished. Hopefully you are still around since we got a 2nd floor to get to. Let's move up from the window we just created. 5 blocks up from the porch trim, open up a 3x6 window. A block down from the window, add a smooth sandstone trim that goes all the way to the tower. Starting from the corner, add a slab below the trim every other block. Add sandstone walls below the slabs you just added. Add a smooth quartz slab trim below the walls and have the peaks from the trim reach up to the sandstone walls. Extend the quartz trim forward by 1 block and place blackstone bricks above it. Fill in the blocks behind the slabs with blackstone bricks. A block away from the corners, add sandstone wall pillars with a block at the bottom and the top. Add a slab at the top of the pillars, but only on the outside sides. Moving inside, add sandstone stairs, then a slab. From the top of the stairs, add a sandstone slab trim. At the top of the window, add brick slabs to the sides. Fill in the window with blue stained glass. Inside the window, add birch fences through the middle, and 3 blocks up, add gates. Place dark oak trapdoors along the sides of the windows. At the base of the window, add grass blocks and surround them with trapdoors. Place blue orchids in the flower pot. Make sure to add birch trapdoors to the block faces of the pillars. A slab above the sandstone trim, open up a cross-shaped hole. At the top and bottom of the cross, add brick slabs. On the sides of the cross, add brick walls. Finally, fill in the window with blue blue stained glass. And that's how the window should look. Moving to the right, add pillars a block away from the corners. Just connect the walls to the quartz trim above. Add trapdoors to the faces of the blocks. In the middle of the two pillars, create a 2x5 window and add brick stairs to the top. Add dark oak trapdoors to the sides of the window. At the base of the window, add 2 grass blocks and surround them with spruce trapdoors. Place blue orchids at the top of the grass blocks. Fill in the window with blue stained glass. Add birch trapdoors to the bottom of the 4th layer and the top of the 1st layer, and add birch gates below the top trapdoors. Let's continue moving right to the wall next to the tower. Above the quartz trim, add sandstone walls every other block starting from the tower. Place a smooth sandstone block over each wall and connect the blocks with the slabs. Place 2 pillars in the same spots as the ones on the 1st floor. Add a sandstone trim below the quartz trim of the roof, but only on this wall. Quickly move into the wall around the corner. Add 2 pillars, one a block away from the corner and the other in the corner. Connect these pillars to the quartz trim. Add birch trapdoors around the block faces of the pillars. Back around the corner, break a 1x5 hole in between the pillars. Place dark oak trapdoors along the sides of the windows. Fill in the window with blue stained glass. Add a single grass block below the window and surround it with spruce trapdoors. And add a blue orchid. Place birch trapdoors between the 4th and 5th layers and one at the bottom of the 2nd layer. At the top of the window, place a dark oak slab and dark oak trapdoors along the sides of it. Hang a lantern from the slab and this window is done. Let's move all the way to the left side of the house to this wall. We are going to change the quartz trim a bit. Add smooth quartz blocks below the quartz trim, and below every peak, add a smooth quartz stair. Add sandstone pillars a block away from the corners. Add a sandstone trim above the pillars. Open a 3x5 window in the middle that is a block above the peaks on the quartz trim. Place dark oak trapdoors along the sides of the window and fill it in with blue stained glass. Place birch fences through the middle and birch gates in the middle as well. Above the window, replace the blocks to be brick stairs. Make sure to add birch trapdoors to the block faces of the pillars. A slab above the sandstone trim, we will do the same cross window design we did on the other wall with brick slabs and walls. Moving to the left, add sandstone pillars in the corner and a block away from the other corner. This time, no sandstone blocks. Move over to the left some more and add pillars around this corner. But let's go to the right corner and turn that pillar into a double pillar with the walls disconnected if possible. In the middle of the pillars, break a 3x5 window. Add dark oak trapdoors along the sides of the window. Fill it in with blue stained glass and add the birch fence pattern we've been using a dozen times. Let's go to the left all the way to the biggest wall we have left. Between every low point in the quartz trim, add a smooth quartz block. Above the blocks you just added, put a sandstone wall above each one. Above each wall, add a smooth sandstone block and connect those blocks with sandstone slabs. A block away from the corner on the left and the right, add sandstone pillars that go near the roof. Create a sandstone trim at the top that lines up with the roof like this. Add another sandstone pillar in the middle of the 2 pillars. Below each peak on the quartz trim on the bottom, add a smooth quartz stair. At each sandstone block face, add a birch trapdoor. In between the pillars, open up 2 1x6 windows with brick slabs at the top of them. Above the windows, create an arch with dark oak slabs and the peak being at the same level of the brick slab you just placed. Add nether brick walls and dark oak fences to the sides and disconnecting the walls if possible. Place birch trapdoors between the 1st and 2nd layers, as well as the 4th and 5th layers. Fill in the windows with blue stained glass, which I'm sure you are tired of me saying by now. Add peaks to the sandstone trim at the top of every other block, starting where the pillar doesn't connect. Add sandstone stairs between the blocks of the pillars. Apply the cross-shaped design we did earlier here. That should wrap up that wall. Move over to the right and finish the next biggest wall. Create a sandstone trim that connects to the peak of the entrance roof like this. Add a support to the trim like this, and apply birch trapdoors to the block faces. Create pillars a block away from the corners, and create a sandstone trim connecting to the roof like so. And connect the sandstone stairs facing inside from the pillar blocks, and add peaks starting from where the pillars don't connect to the trim. In the middle of the 2 pillars, break open a 3x5 window and add dark oak trapdoors to the sides. Fill it in and apply the birch fence design. Above the sandstone trim by a block, open a 1x2 hole. Place dark oak trapdoors along the sides. Fill in the glass and place a birch trapdoor at the bottom of the 2nd layer. And that should finish up this wall. Moving to the right, we will finish the last wall. Add a sandstone pillar on the left corner and a block away from the right corner. In between them, add a double pillar which should leave 3 blocks between each pillar. Disconnect the walls if possible and adjust the quartz trim to to accommodate the pillars. In between the pillars, open up 2 1x4 holes. Add a dark oak slab above each window and dark oak trapdoors along the sides of the slab. Place nether brick walls and dark oak fences along the sides. Fill in the windows and add birch trapdoors between the 3rd and 4th layers, and add a single one at the bottom of the 2nd layer. Apply this design to the other window, and add lanterns above the window, and that should complete the final wall. The exterior of this house is now complete, but I will be ending the video here since this script is already pretty long. 34 pages long. If I don't cut it here, this video will never get out. But if you do want me to do a tutorial on the interior, get this video to 100 likes. But I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope to see you back for the next video. Bye now.